Hello, and welcome to the My Amazon Guy Friday live Q&A. My name is Noah Wickham. I am a brand director here at My Amazon Guy, and I am here to answer any and all questions that you guys have for us this week. So, without further ado, for those that don't know, we are My Amazon Guy, a full-service Amazon agency. We do everything design, ads, PPC, everything in between. So, promotions, whatever you have, we can probably handle. Either way, if you have a question, say you are an Amazon seller, on Amazon, off Amazon, whatever you have today, throw it at me. More than happy to answer anything, even if it's non-Amazon related. So without further ado, let's hop on in today, guys. We have starting out Ballmock. Good morning. Good morning. I'm trying to create a Prime exclusive discount, but I'm confused what's the minimum discount percentage should be. Is it 10, 15, or 20% to be accepted? Thank you. Great question. So Prime exclusive discounts are 15%. So I'll just share my screen real quick here and go through that with you guys. So Prime exclusive discounts are 15%. So if we go over here, go Prime exclusive discounts, and let's just create one real quick. So we can create this discount. You can see all of the Prime Day guidelines. So for Prime Day, and that's what I'm assuming you're doing, you are going to have to be, they have changed it to 20% for non-Prime members, non-promotional discount. Prime exclusive discount price must be 15%. So that is the big crucial one, but you'll notice this one right here has to be 5% lower than the was price. So was price is where you probably are getting a little tripped up. So was price is specifically the price in which the product was. So it's usually based actually not on what it actually was, but in reality, what a 30-day average selling price of the product is. So you'll see this quite frequently where people will try and raise, and this is to counter people from having a price of, let's say, $30 and then raising it for just a couple of days to $60 and then saying, oh, I'm going to do a 50% Prime exclusive discount. Well, Amazon knows that you were at $30. So Amazon bases that was price off the average selling price, which you have to be 5% lower than, but the minimum here is 15% lower than the reference price. So typically the list price or the was price, whichever one is lower. Michelle, hey, I'm thinking to start selling adult toys on Amazon. What are your thoughts on selling these products? Thanks. I think it's fine. I don't think there's any real issue with selling adult toys on Amazon. I mean, it is a category that you can sell in. You're definitely going to have some issues depending on your content. So some guidelines that I would typically look at when you are selling those types of products would be stay away from anything that is actually sexually explicit, especially in your images and your advertisements. So Amazon has major things against sexually explicit content on their website. So stay away from anything like that. When you are putting together any form of copy, titles, bullets, anything, make sure, again, anything sexually explicit whatsoever is not referenced. This is largely due because you could easily get taken down because of it. So no issues though. I mean, it's an entire category. It's under the health and wellness category, I believe, as your parent category there. So that's where you'll be. I would just scope out your competition there first and foremost, see what you're going to be going up against. And a lot of the adult toys section of Amazon is kind of dominated by the major brands you can think of out there, if you can think of any. So that's one thing I would take into account when you're looking at what you're going to be selling there. So hope that helps though. Okay, Misha. Hey, Misha. I've been testing PPC for a long time, but 80% of the time I'm just burning cash with PPC. How do I get good at it? Also, is it possible to successfully launch a product without PPC at all? So how do you get good at PPC? That is the age-old question on Amazon. How do you get good at PPC? Well, there's a few different things. One, it is just a learning curve, right? There is a learning curve with PPC, understanding keywords, understanding bidding strategy, all of the different areas and aspects of Amazon advertising, right? So that's first and foremost what I would just start doing. Is you're already doing it, you're testing right now. The biggest thing to consider here with your PPC is, if you're having a ton of just wasted spend, is are you actually targeting the correct keywords? So that is more so going to be understanding how to do keyword research and also gold panning, right? So knowing how to do keyword research, how to do copy optimization, things like that is like the very first step. You need to understand the organic side of Amazon before you get into the advertised side of Amazon. So understand your keyword research. Start using Helium 10 if you're not already, to really understand it. You can also use some tools like Data Dive. If you go to myamazonguy.com, third-party services, we have a recommendation list, and you can get discounts. I'm on data, and I think helium 10 there. But yeah, absolutely. Just go and utilize those type of tools to understand the keywords. That's first and foremost. And if you already understand keywords, fantastic. Now you have to understand how to actually target those keywords. Likely, what I see a lot of people forget to do is two things. One, add search terms, right? So you need to have some search terms in there to actually go against your targets. And then two, make sure that you have anything that's not really performing into your negative targeting. You don't want to be going and targeting everything across the world because you're just going to waste a ton of money doing that, right? So get really specific first and foremost. Check your campaigns that are selling, see why they're selling. It's one of those things, Misha, if you're trying to learn, we have a ton of videos. I mean, we do a weekly advertising podcast on our YouTube channel. Check out there. It's, free content. We have a ton of videos on it. Go there, read up on all the videos. But by and large, it's a learning curve more than anything. And then secondarily to that, is it possible to successfully launch without PPC? Theoretically, sure. I wouldn't. I have never heard of someone successfully launching a product and not utilizing PPC or anything, and doing well. I guess it wouldn't be really successful launch at that point. But yeah, I mean, theoretically you could, but I wouldn't, especially in this day and age. There's so much competition on Amazon. There's so many lightweight Chinese sellers, things like that, that you're just gonna constantly run into issues. So PPC is really definitely something you have to be doing at launch if you really want a truly successful product launch. Balmock again. Whenever I launch cases with Amazon, I think if only I knew someone working at internal team to handle my cases quicker. Any tips how I can find and network with them directly? Thanks. This is an interesting question. How do you get to know people inside Amazon who can help you? My number one tip here would be just start looking for them on LinkedIn. That's always the first place to look. A lot of people have it in their LinkedIn if they work at Amazon, right? And the real thing is trying to understand and know who to actually talk to, right? Any contact at Amazon is a good contact to have. We have an entire list of just contacts, right, that we can talk to about things and try and ask questions to. The next best thing that I can suggest to anyone who is trying to get in contact with someone at Amazon and trying to network with them, know them, anything like that, is go to trade shows that Amazon is presenting at. Every single person I can at an Amazon booth at a trade show, I try and connect with them on LinkedIn. Not because, we're really going to, see each other's content all that often, maybe we will, but mostly due to the fact that there is a chance that it could be a mutually beneficial relationship at some point in time, right? A client has an issue. You have an issue that can't be solved with seller support. You need to escalate something. The thing that I will say is that just because you are connected with someone, whether it's seller support or even a VP of some department at Amazon, does not necessarily mean that your problem is always going to be solved. Amazon is still Amazon and is a $1 trillion company. It is very, very difficult to get things moving over there, so to speak. So that is the only thing I would caution there is, always try and make sure that any network, any relationship you have with someone, it's mutually beneficial, and, don't expect miracle to happen just from knowing someone. Next up, Tech to Technology. I saw you last week. How's it going, brother? I love that. Can you explain how I write a search terms and which style? Some say one words, not repeat. Please help. All right. So search terms. I'm assuming you're talking about search terms specifically on listings. So if you're talking specific listing search terms, you need to, I kind of already answered this question, to be fair, with Misha. It's all about going to be your keyword research here. So search terms is always keyword research related, even if it's advertising, organic, whatever, it matters. The point that you need to be doing here is you need to, one, know who your competitors are. Okay. You need to know who your competitors are, and you need to see what do they have as far as keywords and search terms on their products. What is working? What are they ranking well for? You can easily do this by going to Helium and using their keyword index and ranking checker. So go ahead, do that. That's going to be your first and foremost thing. Secondarily to that, again, Data Dive is going to be a great tool for this. I would actually say Data Dive would be a better tool than Helium for what you're trying to do here. And that would be figure out all of your competitors, put in your category, put in your product, and you are going to get a list of the top search volume keywords and search terms that you need to be utilizing in your copy and in your advertising. That is kind of the pinnacle of how you go about with search terms and how you do it. So the reality is here, it's very similar to Misha. You're going to have to essentially go through Helium. I would, take the Helium course on how to use their software for keyword research and competitor research, and then go from there. That's going to be my best advice to you. Ahmad from Afghanistan, welcome. How to calculate how much money you need for PPC in order to launch and rank to tops. So how much money do you need? I think I answer this one pretty much every week, but I always love seeing it because I do change over time with it, but it always comes down to the same exact thing. How much money are you willing to spend? How much are the keywords that you're targeting having for bids? So is your bid needing to be 40 cents or $40? And yes, there are $40 keywords. So keep that in mind when you are launching a product. So those are like the two primary things, right? And what is your competition like? All of that is going to be your primary. So if you have a very, very niche product, you have a very niche category, anything like that, you're going to have to go through and you're going to, figure out how you're going to target your customers. And more than likely, if you only have a couple of competitors, it's going to be more difficult to do that. But it's going to be a little bit cheaper from the aspect of you don't have as many people bidding on keywords. So your keywords are likely cheap. However, if you are, let's say, a $40 keyword supplement seller, you're going to have to go through and figure out what makes sense for you to do. My best advice when it comes to bidding strategy and overall just how much you should spend is $4,000 a month. If you can swing it, a $4,000 a month budget for advertising is pretty much standard middle of the road how much you should be spending on advertising as someone who is trying to scale quickly. So 4K is going to be good for most people. I say most, not all. But if you can't swing that, throw what you can at it. That's the biggest thing on Amazon. It's not a matter of you got to do it exactly this way, but for everything, but especially when it comes to how much you're going to be spending on advertising, it comes down to how much can you. I have some people who spend $100,000 a month on advertising because they can and they want to keep growing. It just depends on every single seller, every single product, etc. But overall, again, 4K is kind of standard across board. Let's see. Charlotte, how's it going? Can I use the category listing report to upload my listing as full upload? Technically, yes, you can. So the category listing report, you can't actually use it as a full upload, Charlotte. Instead, what you have to do when you are looking at a category listing report is you have to take that data, transform that data into your template. So you have to do it for your category template. I always suggest that. And then transform all that data into your category template and then upload your category template. So it's very simple to get your category template. I'll just pull this up real quick for you guys. You can just do add procs via upload. Let me share my screen here. Give me 1 second. Here we go. All right. There we go. So you just have to go here, go to catalog, add procs via upload, and then come over here to download spreadsheet. And you can do it a few different ways. So typically, if you're going to be doing a full one, you're going to want to do update product details over here, and you can get the product template. This will be based on your category. So when you're doing this, don't show this again. Got it. When you're doing this, you can type in any of your products. And then once you search for it, so let's just say I'll just search Nike because it's going to be easy. Shoes, you can select this, but you want to do browse via product category. It's going to be easiest if you know your product category. So if I have an appliance, dishwasher, built-in dishwashers, I can choose that one and it will download for this and for the shoes category. So if you didn't get exact when you're doing this, that's fine. You can always just search for it. But yeah, when you are going through with that, I would always just transpose all that data over to the template and then do the full upload that way. Karen, I have a client that sells baby clothing. They have a large catalog. I noticed dozens and dozens of their child ASINs do not have a BSR and are not in a category. Isn't this a form of a suppression? Technically, yeah, that's not really a form of suppression. That is a suppression. So a really cool trick that I will show you guys right now as to know whether or not your ASIN is suppressed. And obviously you can check on the actual Seller Central side and you can try and see if it's suppressed that way. But a really, really cool tool that you can just check immediately is, let me share this tab instead, is just come to Amazon, know what your ASIN is, throw your ASIN into the search bar, click enter. And if your product does not show up here, I mean, this one does because it's not suppressed, but if your product does not show up there, it is suppressed. So that's a very easy way to tell. Secondarily to that, you can actually also tell from the new manage all inventory side of things. So if you are in the manage all inventory side of things, you can see, and I will share this again, this right here, Karen, the sales rank in manage all inventory. If you do not have a BSR like this, technically you are suppressed. Your listing is not active. So if I were to, this one says it's active, but let's take this. Let's go over here again. And we'll throw this in here. You can see this is not the one. This is technically this one. But you'll see that it wouldn't show up. So essentially your sales rank is right there. Or the sales rank on the inventory side is not there. So yeah, take that in how you will, but essentially that's going to be your easiest way to tell if something's suppressed. But that is definitely a very simple way to go about it. Let's see. You also say the client sales are down, so I'm assuming this is due to this form of hidden suppression making their products less discoverable. Am I right on this? Yes, you are right. So again, I would check, just double check on that to make sure they're actually searchable. If you think that they are search suppressed in some way and it's not showing up in the search suppression section of Amazon on Seller Central, then I would submit a support ticket for that. It's usually a very simple fix. You can also go about and do a delete and relist of the product. That's probably what I would actually do before the support ticket. If it doesn't fix it with that, then you should do support ticket, reference that you already did a delete and relist, and you should be good to go. Who's next? Emart. Okay. My inventory reached at Amazon warehouse on June 12th, but till now it's not available and show FC transfer all of my inventory. What can I do now? Not a thing. It is unfortunate that is happening to you, Emart, but I want to say that there's something you could do, but there's not. It's just how Amazon is, unfortunately. So to kind of give some reference here, I'll do this. I'll hide that and I'll show my screen here. So to kind of give some reference for FC transfers here, you can always check them under this reserved and you can see where they exactly are. So FC transfer, as you can say, it's only available to customers by customers, may be shown future ship date if no units are available for immediate fulfillment. So what that means is your product can be live right now, Emart, and it's not available. It does not necessarily have to be available. The only other area that I would probably check there as well, if it's still not showing in the next couple of days, would be just make sure that your release date isn't in the future if this is a new product. That would largely be why. But simultaneously, yeah, FC transfer, there's not a ton you can do. Usually until it gets to the FC processing phase is when you actually will see people can purchase the product for some, reason. But that being said, there's not a ton you can do. You can ask support to try and speed it up, but Amazon's just going to take their time however they want with it, and support doesn't work well with the warehouses. So not a ton you can really do on your end other than play the waiting game. And again, check to make sure you don't have a future release date or start date. Let me get some water in me here, guys. Okay. Let's go for Angel. With products using the same ASIN in US and Canada, sharing same images but different review count, how to separate them to use different images and still keep countries' review count separate? You can just separate the images. So you can have different images based on each country. That's not really a big deal for Amazon Angel. It's all you have to do is just make sure that when you're editing it, you're doing it in the CA marketplace. Having the same ASIN makes sense. That's supposed to happen that way. The review count, again, yeah, it makes sense. You can actually change that to share review counts, which would be probably the better thing that you would want to do there, unless it's just, two separate listings you've done that way. But yeah, you can change. The only thing that I will say is if you are doing the shipment through Amazon's own shipping, so doing NARF, essentially North American Remote Fulfillment, if you are doing that, then that's the area where you're going to run into some slight issues. But as far as just having different images on different listings in different countries, not a big deal. Very common thing that you have to have happen anyways. So you should just be able to do it. If you run into issues with it, you might have to do a delete and relist and make sure that the two are actually paired in some way and under the ASIN. So I would do in both US and CA at that point. We got Karen again. I guess the question is, if you have a huge family with hundreds of ASINs, does one child need to have the category or do they all? Sorry, just not sure how to articulate this. Hope you understand. I think I do understand you. If you have a parent-child relationship like that, you can have one child suppression while the other one is not under a parentage. If the parent itself is suppressed in some way, shape, or form, you can still have technically the children alive. You're going to run into issues. If you have a ton, I would also ask, why do you have hundreds of different ASINs under one parent? But I guess that's a question for another day, because that's not usually going to be best, at least from a click-through rate standpoint. But yes, you can have one child variation that is alive and one that is suppressed. So same process applies that I kind of already talked about there. Nabiel, how should I go about becoming a master of PPC? Will the MAG PPC course be all I need to get lower ACoS? Yeah, I mean, technically, again, it's same exact thing that I was talking about earlier when somebody else had asked that. It's just going to be a learning curve. You need to understand the MAG PPC course if you're willing to kind of pay for it and everything. It's pretty good. It pretty much covers everything you need to know. It's definitely going to help you when it comes to lowering ACoS, that's for sure. We also have a ton of free content on our YouTube if you want to check that as well. But the course itself goes really, really in depth, much more than any real videos or anything that we post on our YouTube, and will be kind of like your de facto when it comes to learning PPC if you have like zero PPC knowledge. Past that as well. Again, you just need to learn organic keyword research, stuff like that first and foremost, and that's going to help you a lot when it comes to the advertising side. But yeah, absolutely check out our courses. They are fantastic content, far greater than anything I'm really doing here. I can answer all the questions at the end of the day, but those will go super in depth and really, yes, kind of make you a master at the end of it. Viper, how often should I be using the brand cart abandoner promotion? How often do you want to be using it? Brand cart abandoner is a really good promotion. I love using it. It's one that we're running pretty frequently. It just kind of depends on how often you are getting new people into that audience type. It runs on a 90-day cycle. So in theory, you should just have one running every month or so. The real thing is, if you're not wanting to do a ton of promotions, that's fine. What I like doing with brand card banners as well is like after big holidays. So we just had Mother's Day. Okay, run one for Mother's Day. Just had Father's Day. Okay, run one for Father's Day. We're about to have Prime Day. Run one after Prime Day. The reason for that is that you get a bunch of window shoppers during that time. A bunch of people add stuff to their cart, never check out, etc. So no better time to try and recapture those sales than someone who is wanting to purchase the product and they didn't. So the real thing is for brand card banners, holidays, and also just depends how many people do you have in there at any given time. Let's see, Noman. So I think I'm going to do a fake review, only one for my first product. Oof, wouldn't, but okay. Do you think I can do a love letter review for it? I'm just let's see here. And then you say also for clothing products, it's really hard to find other products on Amazon with words on the images. Is that not allowed? I asked for the AI in Seller Support and it said I could do it. I want to do a comparison chart and other slightly worry stuff. Okay, so let's cover a couple bases here, Noman. So first and foremost, if you are going to do a fake review, I will say it now, don't. And that is a bad idea, primarily just because even though the risk level for just one fake review on a brand new product is fairly low for getting caught by Amazon, it is not zero. And it is a huge TOS issue, and it is just going to cause you a lot of headache down the road if you do get caught. So I will not endorse doing fake reviews at any point in time. Unfortunately, that is just the case. As for your secondary aspect here, where you're saying that you don't see a lot of other products on Amazon with words in the images. So first and foremost, for the main image, technically, by Amazon's term service, you are not supposed to have any words in your main image that aren't on the product. Now, aren't on the product or part of the product packaging is the key differentiator there. This is kind of the principle behind our big main image hack CTR. And that is that you can add as many words as you want to your product and product packaging. And as long as you're not really just going, ham with it, you can have that as your main image. As for your other images, you can have as many words in those as you want. Your secondary images are totally fine to have as many. It's the main image that's the problem with words. A lot of people don't really know how to properly do a main image hack. And so, or the fact that they even can for that matter, and they're a little afraid of it, but absolutely you can add, we do it for nearly every single product that comes through our door. So, to answer all your questions, secondary images, cool for adding as many words in comparison chart. Primary image, just make sure it's on the product or product packaging. Fake reviews, don't do them. That's not a good idea. Rosina, it's good to see you. I am doing well. Happy Friday. Let's see your question. How can I change display format of my brand name from uppercase on our PDP to lowercase? Amazon is showing our brand name in only uppercase. Oh. Sorry, Rosina. I'm sorry to be the bearer of what's probably going to be bad news. And that is that when you registered your brand in brand registry, you did your brand in uppercase only. So the thing is with brand registry and registering your brand, is that it is in fact case sensitive. It's why for some brands you can see, and I think a great example of this, let me see if I can actually pull it up, would be this, right? I can't find one, unfortunately. So like Supreme, for instance, is a brand. You don't see them too often on Amazon, unfortunately, but like Supreme is a brand that is all capital letters. And so you'll see the brand name show up in all caps versus ones that are all lowercase letters and so on and so forth. So the real thing that you would have to do here if you want to change this is you would have to get your brand registry to be changed. Doing a brand registry change is not fun, but it can be done. The big thing would be you would probably actually need to have a new trademark filed because I believe trademarks are also case sensitive. And so the trademark of the brand is probably case sensitive there. And that's going to be your big thing, is you're going to have them change it and change the actual brand name on the product. Not a fun situation, but thankfully one that can be resolved if you want to. Let's see. I would love to pronounce your name, but I do not want to butcher it. So I will answer your question instead. My second product on Amazon is not picking up in sales. My product is higher quality than competition, but I did make a mistake of not checking dimensions. My box is 1 inch bigger and falls in the next tier. I'm not able to sell as low as them because my fees are $9 higher than theirs. Should I sell these units at cost to at cost to cost, or keep the $10 profit and let it slowly sell? I can fix the issue in next lot and just the next lot. Okay. So essentially what you're kind of asking here is, should you sell off your product and then just try and get a smaller packaging, just so you get through sales volume, or should you do it real slow and keep the profit? I think you can do a best of both worlds, to be honest. I mean, if you have $10 profit built into your product, what's stopping you from doing, you say there's $9 extra fees, and so that probably means you're $9 higher than your competition. What's stopping you from doing $9 off your product pricing right now to sell through as quickly as the competition while still making a profit? That's from the rough math you gave me in numbers. That's kind of where my mind is first at. Secondarily to that, as long as you're fixing the product packaging issue, that's really what matters. If you're having issues selling through the product long term, then yeah, cut your losses and try and do it at cost or whatever you need to do to get rid of it. And your mistake, you made the mistake, and as long as you're resolving it, I see no issues. So it really just comes down to what you want to do, what you're fine with waiting on and holding on. But always make sure to cut your losses at some point in time. If you're not getting any sales traction or volume, cut slash prices. But it sounds like you have enough kind of wiggle room with that $10 in there to, cut down to $9, still be making $1 profit, which isn't much, right? But it'll be something. It'll get you some good sales velocity still. So that's kind of my overall recommendation there. Mr. John Aspinall, how's it going, sir? How do you get these cool these are the new 2024 mag shirts, if you guys are looking for them. So you can actually, I don't know if we have these available yet, unfortunately, for these merch shirts. I can actually check that real quick, because not even everyone internally has them yet. Give me 1 sec, guys, and I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I like these ones. Really cool shirts. Does not look like we have them up on our merch yet. Unfortunately, I'll get the team to do that. But yeah, cool mag shirts 2024. Good to see you, John, as always. All right, Rosina, is there a way in Seller Central to find out which buyer left us a 3-star or lower product rating? Can we contact this buyer via Amazon to satisfy their concerns without asking them to change the rating? So you can always look at your feedback. So if you just go in Amazon, I'll just show right now, you can always look at your feedback by going here, going to your performance, going to your feedback manager. And you can look at all the feedback they're getting. You can look at the exact order ID, right? So you can go negative, look at what the negative was, and you can see the order ID. And then you have some options. You can contact the customer. So like this one right here, you have a few more options. You can do contact customer, post a public reply, request remove. Public reply doesn't work all the time. They kind of have flipped back and forth on that methodology quite a bit, but does not always work all the time. That's the one thing I would, say there. But from the contact customer, you can do that. You can also request removal. The thing that I would say is do not ask them. I know you said you weren't going to, but don't ask them to change anything. But you can always contact the customer. That's not a problem. And then you say, Amazon wants me to delete a listing, wait 24 hours, and then list again. As they messed up in some data points, once deleted, do I do a full update, partial update, or how? Full update. is what you're going to have to do if you're doing a delete relist. Do a full update after you delete it. Wait 24 hours. Do the full update. Wait another 24 hours. Make sure that everything that you were trying to do stuck. That is what we call, a full flat file update. So a little bit earlier, I was kind of talking about that, but yeah, you want to do a full update. Partial update won't really work because you're not actually updating anything. You're not making the listing whole. So yep, just do a delete and then wait 24. Let's just make sure everything's cleared out of the system. Ahmed, regarding Helium-10 CPR, for example, a keyword with CPR of 40 and max bid of $1. In here, if I want to rank fast, should I spend enough money to get that 40 sales in 8 days, or is there a better way? You're not necessarily going to get the 40 sales in 8 days if you spend more money. It always comes down to search volume and how much people are actually purchasing the product, right? So you can't necessarily say it's always going to happen. But yes, if you spend more money than your competition, you will rank higher on the actual advertisement. So when you are, let's say the bid is $1 at the highest, you can do $1.10. Your cost per click will be $1.10, and you can be the highest person there. That's going to typically, for that kind of scenario, make it so you're the top of search, first placement person. You can get into bidding wars with people and everything, but it is one of those situations where you're not necessarily going to get all 40 of those sales on that keyword, no matter how much money you spend, right? But yes, the more money you spend on like a top of search placement to rank the very first listing, and when someone searches that keyword, the more likely, yes, you are to get the sale. So you can just spend more and bid higher, and that will get you to that placement if you want. But you're going to have a good listing still and make sure that your click-through rate is really, really good. So always do some A/B tests on your actual main image. Make sure that your click-through is good, your conversion's good, and go from there. It looks like we got a little donation from Eugene. Hello, Eugene. Can I just place an ASIN label on my product and a logo on top of the sticker when shipping to FBA? So when you say your logo on top of the sticker, do you mean on top of the ASIN label? Because no. So the ASIN label is specifically used for understanding like what the product is. So that the ASIN label, when you are labeling your product, Amazon uses that to check the product in. So you can't just sticker over top that. You have to have it on there. Unfortunately, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. I get products from Amazon all the time, and they all have that label. It's not like I'm going to be negatively looking at it because it has a label on it, right? So you can't just sticker over it. But you can add your label on there. You can add the ASIN label on there as well. No major issues either way. Karen, when searching the ASIN on Amazon homepage, the product does appear. Hence, I'm suspecting the lack of BSR is not direct suppression, more so a hidden suppression. So if you have no BSR, is the product getting sales? That's going to be the first thing I'm going to look at, and that's because you need to have sales to have a BSR. If you are getting sales and you still do not have a BSR on the product, then yeah, more than likely hidden suppression. The big thing that you can do there is, again, the delete relist is going to be your first strategy. Take it out of the parentage when you do the delete relist. And then from there, contact seller support on it. Make sure that there isn't anything wrong on the actual product itself. A lot of times, people will be having a hidden suppression because they don't realize they have a high pricing error. The product is off Amazon somewhere being sold for half the price, and it's just a high pricing error that never came through Amazon's system. Amazon is a buggy system, is what it is. But what you can do again is just do a delete relist, and when you relist the product, it should come up with any issues that are suppressing it. If not, you need to contact seller support. Vasil, if you bid to show up under your own item so you can play defense, and you bid with multiple of your slower moving items, will you be bidding against yourself and raising those bids? Technically, yeah. It's a weird thing that not many people talk about, is how Bidding on Amazon is affected by your own bidding. Technically speaking, you can raise your own bids. There's a great example I love looking at every now and again, where there was a client I was working with, and they were in a very, very niche category. They dominated the category, and we did a test and found that they had multiple campaigns with different products on them, that those two products ended up competing and raising their bid by about $5. It was interesting, especially because essentially they can't do anything about it. The way to really counter this at the end of the day is to if you're trying to move a slow mover versus a hero product, is do down bid only and have your hero product be a little bit lower bid. You could also, at the same time, just have the bid go up only, down and up only for the slow mover. So you have pretty much a fixed bid, if not a lower bid for your hero product, and then you have one that will move up and down for your slow movers. That's going to be kind of the best way to counter it. But yeah, you definitely can, even if Amazon won't admit that you do bid against yourself, you definitely can. And people do all the time, but it's rare to fully start raising bids, unless you're actively trying, like we were in that scenario that I kind of laid out. So that's the big thing. If your bids are going up a lot, unless it's just kind of identical movement across both campaigns, it likely is competition and not so much yourself. Rosina, want to put 3 of my supplements, slightly different ingredients, as variation. Amazon gives same title, same bullet points if I parent them. Need to show unique title, bullets, details for each. How? Rosina, that sounds like you're having some issues with the actual listings being their own listings. A simple delete and relist will fix most of your issues here. And I would also do the parentage at the same time with that delete relist. So you can do all 3 at the same time, no issues. But when you have essentially your titles, bullets all matching across the board, when you parent something, that means Amazon, you're probably doing the parent wrong. Especially if you're using the variation wizard, that thing messes up all the time. But yeah, just make sure to do it through actual flat file. And that you're not copying data over. And if you, for instance, are accidentally labeling them as the parent, that's a very common cause of that. And then you ask, Amazon is sometimes reimbursing us for damaged returns. That's good. But then Amazon Warehouse is selling same on our ASIN page as used. This is bringing bad reviews and also slows our sales. Oh, fun. How to prevent Amazon Warehouse from selling used items of my product on my ASIN. Currently, I am just buying to put Amazon Warehouse out of stock. So fun fact, Rosina, I actually uploaded a video on our channel a day or 2 ago covering this exact thing, but I will cover it here today as well for everyone to see. So if Amazon is selling on your listing as used, there's a really easy way to go about it. I've come over here to remove unfulfillable inventory. You can go to auto removal settings. Back last fall, Amazon made it so that unfulfillable settings are automatically enabled across every single account. So with that, they also added this section, which is enroll in value recovery options. Now these value recovery, I'm not even sharing the right screen, am I? Here we go. These value recovery options right here. So again, all you have to do is click the remove unfulfillable inventory, and then you click auto removal settings. But the value recovery options are what are causing this. So essentially you have refurbishment, grade and resell, and then liquidations. So refurbishment and grade and resell are the 2 that you're probably running into. You can run into this with liquidations as well, because Amazon will liquidate product from sellers to itself. But the big one that you're probably having is the refurbishment and grade and resell. So if you have any of these on, that is going to be the cause. That is the direct correlation to Amazon selling used goods on your listing, specifically the grade and resell. If you're seeing a bunch of different types, that is when Amazon will sell. It can happen with refurbishment. it's more likely Amazon will let you sell the refurbishment, but at the same time, Amazon will at times be the one to sell it, and it will be a fulfilled by them situation. Same thing with liquidations. Liquidations, that's usually to other companies, so less likely to happen with the liquidations, but Amazon still, again, can buy it through Amazon Warehouse. Grade and resell is the one where it's you're going to see pretty much the used items. 9 times out of 10, I would just get rid of grade and resell. The refurbishment, like I said, can happen for Amazon selling it. It's not as likely as the grade and resell. So solve that pretty much immediately. Just go there. Let's see here, Charlotte. Right quick before I answer that, Charlotte, I'm going to get some water. All right. ASIN is classified good, fulfillable, hazmat. Okay. We are part of the hazmat program, but we have an error. We have error in creating shipment due to FC limitation. Okay. So let me see here. Okay. So your ASIN is good, fulfillable, hazmat. We have a hazmat program. We have an error in creating shipment due to FC limitation. This can happen. It's not uncommon. It does, but typically when you're having a shipment issue from FC limitation, that means that you're trying to ship to a non-hazmat warehouse. So the hazmat program has specific Amazon warehouses that you have to ship to. So if you're getting the issue with the FC limitation, it's because the shipment you're trying to create has a mix of potentially hazmat and non-hazmat goods that are trying to go to either a non-hazmat or a hazmat warehouse. So usually that's what the mix-up is hazmat goods going to a non-hazmat warehouse or vice versa. So I would just check to see what warehouse you're going to. You can actually reach out to seller support as well on guidance on how to get to a specific warehouse. You usually have to go through the hazmat program when shipping in and get that direction for that. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of going to be your best angle there, Charlotte. But, feel free if, you still have issues with it and everything. If you take a screenshot, send it in to podcast@myamazonguy.com. I'll take a look at it as well and kind of give you a little bit more direction there. All right. We are almost caught up with all of the comments, I think. So give me 1 second here, guys. Throw all your questions in. We got a little bit more time here today, so looking to answer any and all. Noman, for reviews, can I use FBA Reviews product tester site? If not, I think I need like 2 reviews for my product because it's going to be around 110 to 140. Technically, yeah, I don't, not really though. Only if they actually purchase the product. That's the big thing. But Amazon is really cracking down on false reviews and like fake reviews and bot reviews. So I wouldn't trust it, Noman. What you can do, and this is the Amazon way of doing things, is go through Amazon's Vine program. Even if it's clothing, I mean, honestly, clothing is probably the best type of thing for this. I mean, if you're going to be selling clothing on Amazon, this is probably the best case scenario for Vine. Go through the Vine program. You can utilize it. So I'll just share my screen again real quick here. So you can go to the Vine program by going to advertising and then go to Vine. You can sign up. You can ship them 2 items. So you can actually see here, enroll 1 to 2 units for $0. It's free. So you just said you need 2 reviews. Since your product's going to be so expensive, there you go. There's your 2 reviews for free. And then as well, $75, you can send in 10. And then 200, you can get 30. So I would really suggest you go through the Vine program first and foremost before anything. I would not go any other route than that. So good questions, though. Thanks so much. Not a problem, Charlotte. I am not seeing any other comments. Throw your questions in here, guys. Anything you guys have, more than happy to answer. Doesn't even have to be Amazon related for that matter. I'm here for at least a little while longer. we don't see anything else, I'll end a little early today, but that's okay. One thing to just kind of note, since we have a little bit of time here, I'll go over some interesting news that you guys maybe haven't seen. Let me share my screen here again. Amazon recently announced about a week and a half ago that you can have subscribe and save for FBM orders. So if you are not selling on FBA anymore, or if you are selling on FBA, you can do subscribe and save. But now you can also do it if you are not FBA. So if you are just selling on your own, will also fund that first 5%. So that's the really cool part, is that you now have subscribe and save. Even if you're not an FBA seller, you can do it for pretty much any product that you have at this point, as long as you can still fulfill it. And, you're still getting that first 5% saving discount. So I would highly advise anyone that has the ability, has a product that might be well for subscribe and save, sign up for this immediately. Like, this is really cool. I mean, obviously it's not open till June 27th, next week, but still super cool thing of Amazon. It is an uncommon Amazon win for once, which is pretty unheard of. Secondarily to that, you also had this as well, which is the lower FBA rates through the opportunity tool. So this was kind of a cool one to come out recently. Not the biggest news. It's type of thing where they're trying to get people to go to the FBA calculator all the time, but still kind of interesting at the end of the day. It's one of those things where Amazon, I think, is realizing people are getting a little fed up with all of the different things, all of the different areas of just nickel and diming everyone. And so they're trying to at least, give a little bit to the seller. Really wish they would, take a little away from the Chinese sellers, but it is what it is. Oh, we got some more stuff. Angel. Vine reviews. When selecting the 2 reviews tier, you can't request any other tier afterwards, or can you? You cannot. So for Vine, if you are going to sell a product or not sell a product on Vine, but put a product through Vine, make sure you know which tier you want. You cannot enroll a product in Vine more than once. That includes anything in parentage. So make sure if you are going to have a parentage of some kind, you take all your child variations out before you do any of them into Vine. So if you want to do 2 reviews, you better be okay with only 2. If you want to do 10 reviews, better be okay with only 10. You cannot unenroll afterwards, and even if you do unenroll afterwards and you don't get all your reviews in, you're out of luck. You can't do Vine more than once, unfortunately. And it is what it is once you select it. Good call out there, Angel. Eugene, when changing title and picture, do you need to change both for FBA and FBM? Yeah. No, technically, but yes. Your FBM and FBA should be the same exact ASIN. If you don't have them on the same ASIN and they are 2 separate listings, that's not good. I would definitely change that if that's the case. But yeah, I mean, when you change a singular ASIN title and pictures, it should change cross board. So yes is the answer there if you have your listing set correctly. If you don't, then that's a problem. But yeah, it should just change for both of them because it's one ASIN, one listing. Gamma. Retouch on the Hazmat question. In regards to getting FBA approval, is there a separate program for AWD that allows storage for items with lithium batteries? No. AWD is still in the starting phases, I suppose, of what you can really do and what you can send in. I mean, they're not even accepting large items yet, right? So AWD is still in that kind of beginning phase, it seems. You can't do large items yet. You can't do anything like that, unfortunately. So no, not really. I mean, there are 3PL options out there that you can choose from that allow for lithium batteries, Hazmat, all that kind of jazz. But from my knowledge right now, no, AWD is not going to allow it. WaveCorp, what is the best model of forecast inventory, especially for newly listed products with limited historical sales? We are worried for overstocking, but there's also out of stock issue. There's out of stock issue. You can usually tell how much stock you need. So how fast did you sell over the course of a month? Okay. And that tells you how much you need per month, right? Or a little bit more than that. If you're running into issues there, I mean, from the aspect, Wave Corp, I think I get what you're asking. And the answer is use a software like Merchant Spring. You can go to myamazonguy.com/ third party recommended services. Do Merchant Spring. That's a great one. That's what we use here. I know Helium has an inventory tool as well. You can use FBA, Amazon's own FBA inventory tool. They tell you how much they think you should need. It's not usually 100% accurate, but it's close enough for a new seller. Those are going to be your best for like the new products and everything. And if you're already having out of stock issues, that's usually a good thing, just from the aspect of, you know, that your product is selling well at the very least, right? So usually I like to go off of a 90-day window. So try and only have enough inventory for 90 days and then do a restock at, you know, let's say the 60-day mark, throw a new restock in so that you have another 90 days of inventory being sent in. It's pretty easy to calculate how much product you have, you know, for your first launch. Do 100, 200 units, somewhere in that range. And if it does well, send more in. Charlotte again. How can we ungate the products if my client can't provide the chain, supply, or authorization layer? We only have the invoice from authorized supplier. Thank you again. You cannot. Gating on Amazon has gotten way more difficult to undo. If you don't have those two pieces of information, you can't. There's a very common mistake a lot of newer Amazon people fall into with like resellers, and that is that you know, the authorized supplier, quote unquote, will typically not actually be a fully authorized supplier. And just because they are a authorized supplier does not mean that they can get you ungated on Amazon, but they will tell you that they can. And that's only to get you to buy their inventory. I see it all the time. The biggest thing at the end of the day is that check to make sure a product isn't gated beforehand. You know, Amazon doesn't, they're getting rid of the gating program entirely, I believe. But, you know, it's one of those things where if a product's gated, it's not going to be easy to get into it. And once you do, you kind of have to be like a fully authorized by the brand person. It's unfortunate, Charlotte, but not a ton you can do there. Ying. PPC can't help you rank your product higher if your product doesn't actually deserve to be ranked higher. Do you agree? It's an interesting take. I would say, yeah, technically speaking. And you word it really weird there, Yang. I think I get what you're going at after. But you are correct in the sense that you only rank for category, keyword, anything like that. You only rank for that if you get sales. And the only way you're going to get sales on those is if your product is relevant. Relevancy is the number one thing when it comes to ranking, right? So relevancy means you are selling against a keyword. You can have PPC for the word balloons and, you know, be absolutely spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on that keyword. But if your product has nothing to do with balloons, you're not going to rank higher on it because people aren't going to buy your product. I agree with you there, Ying, in the sense of, yeah, you got to deserve. I wouldn't really say deserve. I would just say, are you relevant? If you're not relevant, you're not going to rank. That's simple as is. Ginger. This week, Amazon flagged 350 of our listings as child jewelry and was requiring compliance docs. We have been able to get all but 36 of them appealed. We do not add a choking hazard warning since it is technically for adults. Should we be adding choking hazard even though it is for adults? No, the choking hazard will get you needing that compliance documents again. So this happens every now and then. Amazon accidentally flags something as like a kid's product. See it all the time. As long as you're getting things appealed, that's fine. Do not put the choking hazard or anything relating to kids into the listing because that will flag Amazon again. And I'm guessing next time it will not be as easy to appeal them, and you'll need all new documentation for everything. So I think you're doing good if you already got all but 36 appealed. Don't do anything with choking hazard. Don't do anything relating to kids, and you'll be golden. This just happens from time to time. I've seen it with some of the weirdest products out there, where people's products get labeled as like children's toys, and all of a sudden, guess what? Now they're in the children's toys category, and they need all this compliance documentation. Super normal. Let's see here. Why aren't you answering my question? I did. I did in fact answer your question. I remember because I didn't know how to pronounce your name. So again, my second product name is not picking up in sales. The product is higher quality than competition. Did I mistake dimensions? Yeah, this whole thing. I did answer it. So the big thing again, just to reiterate off of this of what I previously said here, was if you have $10 of profit built in and you are $9 more expensive again than your competitors because the $9 from the dimensions, then lower your price $9, take $1 profit, sell off the product, get the product packaging replaced with correct sizing, and you should be good to go. Pretty simple issue. I mean, it seems like you mostly have all of the stuff figured out here, but it really comes down to how much do you want to make off these and how quickly do you? Are you okay with, waiting around for the sales, or do you want to get all the product out and get replaced with the correct packaging dimensions and, be off to the races? So, again, if you have a little bit of wiggle room in that profit, and it's not going to kill you too much, lower your price so it sells faster and you're closer to your competition. And then from there, just make sure you fix the dimensions issue and you should be golden. Rodrigo, we are experiencing issues with our 3PL services, and the inventory placement fees are too expensive. We are considering migrating all of our products to AWD. Do you recommend AWD? I do. If it makes sense for you from a cost perspective for your products, so it definitely is a way to mitigate if you want to, but really just comes down to what works best for you. AWD is going to be, more expensive for some people, less expensive for others. It just depends on how much you're actually sending in. If you're sending in a crap load of inventory all the time, you can usually, completely circumvent the inventory placement fee. But yeah, AWD is a great option for people that need it. I have no issues with AWD in the slightest. If you like it, go for it, and just make sure the numbers work for you. Eugene. Is there Amazon automation services that cost 30 to 40K or scams? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't used to think so. There are reputable ones out there and ones that try, to be reputable as well and try and make them work and whatnot. I don't think they're all scams to, be exact, but it's essentially just someone trying to create an Amazon brand for you. And a lot of times the ones that do work usually do month to month charges versus like a flat fee from what I've seen. It just depends on each one. I'm not going to call anybody out for any reason or anything, but yeah. I sent in a package FBA and the UPS tracking number shows delivered. In my inventory, it still says inbound. It's been 2 weeks. So you sent a package into FBA. Do you mean like a FBA shipment? Or are you saying tracking number is delivered, but in my inventory it says inbound? It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, it just sounds like they're still receiving it. I would just contact seller support real quick, shoot them over the tracking number, say that it's not been received yet, and if that's what it is, if it's a shipment in there. So unfortunately, Dennis, not a ton you can do there, but it is one of those things where that's really what you can do. Seller support is going to be your best friend here. Unfortunate, but it happens every now and then where Amazon just takes forever to receive product. Abdullah, I have bad experience. Clients who manage PPC themselves, once the PPC performs well, they will start complaining about high bids and other issues. Thinking they can do it themselves, might ask refund. This isn't, I mean, at the end of the day, Abdullah, to retain a client like this, you have to show them what you're doing works, right? So, uh, if you have high bids, why do you have high bids? Is it because you are bidding too high? Are you doing the correct thing? Uh, the big thing at the end of the day is that to retain this kind of client, you have to make sure you're actually doing what they want you to do. Ask the client, okay, what is the correct ACOS you want? What is the tacos you want? What is the ROAS you want? What is your weekly budget? What is your monthly budget? You got to keep in line with all of these. You just have to essentially show them, hey, this is why we're doing this. This is how it works. Here are the sales to prove it's working. If you're in ACOS limits, I've never had a client complain to me about advertising when their sales are improving, their ACOS is at a reasonable level, and their tacos is improving. There's never been a client that's complained. So just focus on those 3 areas and you should be good to go. It's unfortunate, but sometimes clients churn even when you don't want them to. Dennis, again, do you recommend going into a market with a lot of demand and competition and take a smaller piece of the pie, or the opposite? That's a hard one, Dennis. It really depends on the actual one. Like, for instance, supplements. If you're going to try and get into supplements as your first product, don't. This is your PSA. Don't. I say this because supplements is just such a hard category for anybody to get into. It's so expensive to do well in it, and no one should really do it as their first product. Many do, and some do well with it. We have plenty of clients that have come to us with supplements as their first product, and it's an uphill battle, but you can do it. I just wouldn't recommend it. It really just depends on what product you're doing. I personally like the idea of taking, the opposite route. You go into a category or a product market that doesn't have many competitors, that you can take a larger chunk from, especially if those competitors don't really know what they're doing. That's, going to be your best bet when it comes to actually really dominating. Because when you're talking about having a ton of competitors, that raises the cost of everything. So it's really just a, sunken cost fallacy at that point of, oh, I'm spending so much money, I should be getting more sales, but you might not still. Ginger, thank you. This is what I was also thinking. Awesome. Love it. Wave Corp. Are there any tutorials or best practices for day parting sponsored product PPC campaigns? Yeah, we have a ton of them. Or not a ton, but I think Steven posted a video just recently on our YouTube channel here, Wave. If you just go to our YouTube and type in day parting, we have a couple of videos on it. Secondarily to us, the only other people that I would recommend would be like Jungler. They post great content. I know they've posted some day parting stuff as well. Love them over there. They posted a lot of great informational type thing. But yeah, if you just go to our channel here, I'll just pull this up. If you just go to our channel and you go click on this, do day parting, we got a million things. So we got this one right here, Steven does. We have this one right here, another one. We got a bunch of things for day parting, right? So that's where I would go, Wave, and you should be golden from that front. And it looks like that was the last of the questions. Yeah, I don't have any others unless I missed anything. I don't think so. Cool. Well, I think we will, in that case, call it there today, guys. We'll call it a little early. Oh, we got one more from Dennis. Do you recommend waiting to turn on PPC until reviews have come in? No. I mean, you can, but no, just turn on your PPC. Get rolling. Get rocking. You gotta get some sales in. That'll also help your reviews come in more. You can wait until you're through Vine, but you don't want to miss out on your honeymoon period. So just try and get sales in while you can. Even if it's brand new products, you might still get something. And one more. Why are you not answering my question? I want to send traffic from Facebook. How to generate URL which can directly send to my product and display only my product detail page with the sponsored products of others. Is this your question? Because this is the only one that I'm seeing here about anything Facebook related, sir. Let me see. Yeah, the only other ones there, VAR, were the ones I had answered earlier. It's the first time seeing this one. Sorry about that. But how to generate URL which can directly send my products and display only my product depot. Oh, this is fun. This is easy also. I'm really glad that we could do this one. So the easiest way here, Var, is to come on over, go to your advertising, go to your campaign manager, and then you're going to scroll down in your campaign manager, and you are going to do, let's see, brand content? No. Creative tools? No. Insights? No. There it is. Measurement and reporting Amazon attribution, which apparently is now broken. Anyways, you'll come to Amazon attribution here. Unfortunately, it's just broken because Amazon's ad console is constantly broken. So go to the campaign manager and then to the measurement reporting, Amazon attribution, create an attribution link. The secondary way that you could, in theory, do that as well is if you come over here to brands and then you do, let's see, I believe brand referral bonus. There it is. If you come to brand referral bonus, you can do generate referral tags, and that will take you right to the attribution thing, which again is broken. So two different ways to get to attribution, but that's how you get that link. Wave. Do you recommend day parting? Does it help from your experience? Yes, absolutely. Day parting's great. I love day parting. I wish that they allowed it for you to increase and decrease bids, but yeah, absolutely do day parting. Just make sure measure where your ACoS is spiking and when you are getting the least amount of traffic, most amount of traffic, and just for that time frame. But yeah, day parting, absolutely, Wave. Go for it. All right, guys, we're gonna call it a little early today. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for all the questions. Just a quick little thing before we hop off here. For those that don't know, again, my name is Noah Wickham. I am a brand director here at My Amazon Guy. My Amazon Guy is a full service Amazon agency. So we do A to Z for Amazon brands, anything that you can really think about. We can probably do it for you. We work with anyone, even people who are just starting out all the way up to, enterprise level companies that, are doing millions. So more than happy. We do design, PPC, everything in between, troubleshooting, anything you can think of. If you want to just learn from us, because we look at ourselves not just as an agency, but an education company. So you can always come to our YouTube here. We have a ton of content. We also have this section. You can buy all of our SOPs if you want it. Is some of the best content that you will get. It is every SOP that we use internally. It is something you should definitely check out if you are looking to know some things about Amazon. On top of that, we have our courses. We have some of the best courses for Amazon you can possibly imagine. Anything you want to learn, you can learn it here. So absolutely go check out our course load. On top of that, if anybody's looking for a job, we're hiring. We are constantly hiring people, whether you want to be an Amazon specialist, a brand manager, PPC specialist, anything. We also offer paid internships. This is something that not many other places will do, but we do paid internships. We'll teach you how to do the job and pay you to do it at the same time. On top of that, if you're looking for some one-on-one coaching, come to our coaching page. You can see my face here and schedule a call with me, or you can send an email to Steven or schedule one with John. So absolutely. Come to the coaching page, do that. And yeah, hope you all have a great weekend and a happy Friday. Again, my name is Noah Wickham. I will be here every single Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern to answer any and all of your Amazon and non-Amazon related questions. Have a great weekend, everybody.